Hi everyone, today I will be showing you a few tips and tricks about the Great Lakes Watershed Management System, or GLWMS. If you're ever going to be using this system, these could be a few good pointers or starting places just to reference whenever you are trying to calculate out your field score. So the first thing I generally do when I come onto the system is go over here to switch base map. And it's much easier when you switch to the imagery panel to see your fields. As you can see here, this is the satellite imagery, which makes it much easier to see the fields compared to the street view, where it's just the base layout of the streets. Next useful thing that may be good to know is the map layers tab here. If you click on general layers and then go to priority subbasins, this can be a good reference depending on where your farm is, and it'll give you a good reference of how competitive your farm is. If it's in a high priority subbasin, you'll most likely have a very competitive rate, and if it's in a medium or low, you'll have a less competitive rate, but it still could be competitive depending on the location within that subbasin. A useful tab for reference could be the current payment rate for the program. So depending on which practices you'd like to implement, you could come here and say a very common one is cover crop with overwintering cover crop single species, and that's generally our highest or most frequent application practice, and that is going for $45 per acre. So you can do that calculation yourself if you'd like to. Just take the $45 and figure out how many acres you have, multiply it, and that should give you a rough estimate of how much money we would put towards practice implementation if you decide to go with our program. And lastly, one very useful function is the address bar up here. So if I just type in an address that I've used before, so West Road Highway, I would put Michigan at the end because it's better to be as specific as you can if you don't have a street address. And if you look here, it's West Russell Road and North Adrian Highway, which is right in the middle of the River Raisin watershed. So this will be very useful to use when finding your farm, because it'll take a while if you just try and search in the watershed itself. So that'll be it for this video. In the next video, I'll be covering a phosphorus simulation, and I'll be using the runoff calculator on a single field. So if you are planning on doing a calculation yourself, that could be useful to check out.